The tornado ripped through this neighborhood. You can see the damage on this roof here behind me. He was inside the motel behind me, kicking at the walls, trying to find a different way to escape. It's really hard to imagine how long these tenants have been without heat. Police are walking to different houses in the neighborhood, trying to figure out what may have happened and speak to some witnesses. They're not sure when the power will be turned back on. This is the first time the Board of Education is addressing the investigation. Former Superintendent Dr. Wood was here with his wife and his son. They're not letting anyone in or out of the apartment complex for security reasons. Out of nowhere, the tornado picked up their car. They were inside their house when they believe it was hit by lightning. And what a horrible way to start the 4th of July. The defense has asked for a mistrial, but at this point, the judge has not responded. Preparing for days, warning those who live by the Illinois River. With multiple Republicans reelected, tied those purple bows around every tree. The judge ruled this afternoon that the defense would be able to bring up Crutcher's past interactions with police.
I just did the wrong thing.
It may be hard to understand Tyrone Lee.
I got shot in the face.
And that's why.
As soon as I stepped in there, I wanted to turn back around.
On the night of February 22nd, this 36-year-old walked into Forest Acres liquor store ready. Why did you go in armed? Why did you have a gun on you?
I needed money.
Lee says he bought a bottle of liquor the day before, but left it on the counter. So he walked in the next day with a loaded gun he says he found near a trash can weeks ago.
I wasn't going to hurt nobody. I didn't even know what was in the gun.
Surveillance video shows Lee walk in and point his gun at the store clerk as she gets money from the drawer. Were you on drugs?
Yeah.
What were you on?
Milk.
Things quickly escalated. The store owner and clerk shot Lee, and at one point, Lee grabbed their gun, pulled the trigger, but it was empty.
In the mouth, in the neck, in my arm, in my back, in my leg.
Do you think that she should have shot you?
Yes. Yes, yes.
A day Lee says he'll remember physically.
I got the pain and the buzzes in my body for the rest of my life to remind me of that.
The father of 5 asking for a second chance at life.
It's hard to even do this interview, but God put it in my heart to do it, to show my compassion, to show that I have a heart.
Alongside this gravel road, a fence lined with American flags leads to a world only some know.
We've been here living 21 years.
Just a little outside Depew, a life with the bare necessities.
Actually, I was born nude, and I just never got away from it.
For Ray McCalmont, a life he's always wanted.
And I got into Dad's drawer in his desk, and there were nudist magazines. I opened it up and saw all those people without clothes on. I thought, wow, that's really neat. So I took off my clothes and ran out through the alfalfa field behind the barn and just enjoyed the dickens out of it.
Then he met his match, his wife, Diana.
And then one thing led to another one.
And we were married. We have the best of both worlds.
400 acres of beauty where birds are chirping and a golf cart is a must. There is one rule.
One of the things we do discourage is women looking at men and pointing. That's not polite.
With the chapel, pool.
They love water volleyball.
Yeah, that's the big thing around here.
They go crazy.
More than 1,000 people visit this nudist resort every year. They have water volleyball, 2 swimming pools, and a hot tub. And a restaurant. What more could you ask for?
People can live whatever lifestyle they choose. It's not for me to judge. I don't want people to judge me. I don't judge them.
Don't knock anything until you tried it. Keep an open mind.
It's the second largest nudist club in the U.S.
People confuse the nudist lifestyle with sexuality. It's hard for people in our culture to wrap their heads around the fact that there's a separation.
The resort opened in 1992, 25 years of memories on a collage in the clubhouse.
So, yeah, my daughter came out here one time when she's 14 now. She just turned 14 a couple days ago. But she came out when she was 4 or 5 and driving around and seeing everything. And that was what she always called it when we were coming out here. When we come out on visits afterwards, she'd always call it Naked Town.
Some pages empty, but soon to be filled as the National Nudist Convention starts Monday. The second time Oak Lake Trails has been the host.
God gave us our bodies, and he thought they were fine, so I don't know why we should, any of us, be very concerned.
The McCalmont's deck overlooks God's country, a simple life with one essential, shoes.
We can't ever imagine going back and living in town again.
It's life Ray and Diana McCalmont do together, hand in hand. While at the kitchen table, Zach and Daylene Reynolds reread the only paperwork they have.
I dread even seeing Walmart's name pop up on my phone.
Just this complaint filled out by the Reynolds after they claim an oil change went wrong at the Muskogee Walmart.
That's when we started smelling the burning rubber odor coming from the vehicle. It started knocking real loud, and it just, the faster she went, the louder it got.
So the father of 5 took matters into his own hands.
There's something wrong. We're going to have to take it to the shop.
He brought the car here to Fort Gibson Tire and Wheel.
It was way low on oil, and we discovered that the oil filter was leaking on it.
Manager Matt Nails says that can ruin an engine.
It can run the bearings in it and lock the engine up eventually. And it was actually dying to a point, where it was so low on oil it was dying.
He even filled out this paperwork for Reynolds to use for documentation. So this would end up where, Mr. Reynolds would have to get a new engine, pay for a new engine?
Yes.
How expensive do those run?
$5,000–6,000.
After multiple calls to Walmart's corporate office, Reynolds says the corporation had his vehicle towed from Fort Gibson back to Walmart in Muskogee.
There's internal bleeding, but they're just trying to slap a Band-Aid on it and say good luck.
Reynolds says Walmart changed his oil and told him to pick up his vehicle, but he refused and demanded his engine be looked at.
Morgan Towing was there hooking up the van and towing it to Toyota.
2 Works For You problem solvers called Walmart and demanded answers. Within hours of our first phone call, we received this voicemail from corporate.
The vehicle is being repaired at our expense. And after speaking with store management, who has also spoken with the customer, he appears to be satisfied.
Now the Reynolds will have a working vehicle, a financial relief for the family of 7. 2 Works For You reached out to the Reynolds after hearing back from Walmart, and they sent us this message saying, "I believe you all getting involved and asking questions helped tremendously, so thank you." Katie Wisely, 2 Works For You. The stars and the stripes blowing in the wind.
I'm pretty sure there were some people rolling over.
A different story behind every name.
I can feel my father standing beside me with his arm around me telling me, you're doing the right thing.
Colorful floral arrangements to remember those we love.
Any other veteran would be disheartened.
But Sunday night, this symbol of America ended up on the ground.
No flag should ever end up in the trash can.
I quite literally just burst into tears whenever I saw the flags in the dumpster.
Julia Gallagher took these photos, shocked at the disrespect.
We can't discard our flags like we're doing our veterans now.
Noelle Waller saw Gallagher's post on Facebook and drove to the Bixby Cemetery. She grabbed all of the flags from the dumpster and loaded them in her car.
The only choice is for them to be destroyed, but it needs to be done correctly.
She plans to give them to the Boy Scouts who placed them here for Memorial Day so they can retire the flags properly.
They were horrified.
The city owns this cemetery and posted this sign at the entrance.
I drive this road every day and I have never really noticed the signs.
The city sent 2 Works For You this statement, saying in part the flags were not taken down in accordance with accepted practices and that the flags will be delivered to the VFW for proper treatment.
The way that they handled it was very disrespectful and quite frankly unacceptable.
Red, white, and blue, the colors of this country, now given the honor they deserve.